Hello there, this is a morning bulletin on MITV Plus. Thank you for joining us and apologies for that hitch. Vice President Kashim Shettima has formally submitted President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's nomination and expression of interest forms to the All Progressives Congress APC ahead of the 2027 presidential election. Speaking at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center in Abuja, Shettima called on party members and Nigerians to support the president's re-election bid, saying the Tinubu administration has shown courage in implementing reforms aimed at stabilizing the economy and rebuilding national confidence. The vice president described the renewed hope agenda as a foundation for economic recovery and national rebirth, noting that difficult policy decisions taken by the administration were necessary for Nigeria's long-term stability. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, also praised the president's leadership, saying current reforms have placed the country on the path of recovery and prosperity. APC National Chairman Professor Nentawe Iwata and Chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, Governor Hope Uzodimma of Imo State, equally endorsed the president's second-term ambition, citing improvements in economic indicators and the party's growing political strength nationwide.
To submit this very priceless nomination and expression of interest form of our dear President and leader, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he seeks to lead us for another 4-year term. Through thick and thin, the President has put his mettle and has shown the world that his capacity and resolve to pull the nation out of the world's release and peace. Indeed, the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President has reflected on many successes of this administration. The socio-economic impacts have been permanent in pushing out quality results.
I'm very delighted to speak this afternoon on this occasion of the submission of the nomination and the expression of interest form of our dear President to our great party. If you recall, during the APC political summit sometime last year, the governors produced by APC under the Progressive Governors Forum in unity endorsed and encouraged Mr. President to make himself available for a second term in office.
Provide support for import and export for landlocked countries like Niger, like Chad, like Sudan, like Burkina Faso. They will all depend on Maradi as their own point of entry for import and export. It will be the biggest source of income for Nigeria outside Nigeria. And to us, for President to have that forward thinking for our economy, to me, is unimaginable. Secondly, we have the road network. Building a road, the longest road ever in the history of Nigeria, over 1,000 kilometers from Badagry to Sokoto, and building also.
We are receiving the form, yes, as a matter of constitutional requirement, but even before the form is received and in exercise of our power under the Constitution, the National Working Committee has passed a resolution waiving the requirement of screening, and therefore the course is clear for our President to contest the primary. And for those who are bent and talking about anti-democratic tendency, I think a gentleman from Edo State decided to put the art in the ring to collect funds to contest presidential primary, which gave him
to not only identify what the key issues of this country are, but he went in a very relentless manner to pursue and achieve and conquer most of the economic progress we have in this country. So I have no doubt in my mind that this ceremony we are experiencing today is the beginning of a very good story that will not only come to Mr. President come January 2027, but to the whole entire APC family. May Almighty God continue to bless our President. May God continue to grant him good health, good vision to continue to lead this country in the right way.
Vice President Kashim Shettima has stated that the Nigeria's mining sector attracted more than $2.6 billion in foreign direct investments in the last 30 months. Following reforms introduced by the Tinubu administration, the Vice President made this known in Abuja during the commissioning of the Kosi Group headquarters and mining facility. Shettima emphasized that the administration is repositioning Nigeria from a raw mineral exporter to a global hub for mineral processing and value addition. Our correspondent, Folashade Abdulsalami, reports.
Vice President Kashim Shettima said the ongoing reforms in Nigeria's mining sector are beginning to yield measurable results, with the countries attracting over $2.6 billion in foreign direct investment within the last 30 months. Speaking during the commissioning of the Kosi Group headquarters in Abuja, the Vice President said the Tinubu administration has focused on de-risking the mining environment and ensuring that local value addition becomes a key requirement in mineral licensing. He added that Nigeria is no longer willing to remain only a source of raw materials, but is positioning itself as a center for mineral refinement, beneficiation, and industrial growth. Senator Shettima noted that companies refining lithium and gold locally are helping to strengthen the country's industrial ambitions and support participation in the global green energy transition. The Vice President, however, stressed that nations achieve economic strength by transforming natural resources into finished products and sustainable industries. After the commissioning, Senator Shettima, alongside Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak and other dignitaries, toured the Kosi Group facility, which houses a refining factory and a digital mineral marketing and tracking platform. Investors, traditional rulers, and religious leaders from Kwara State and other parts of the country attended the events.
Kosi Group of company has taken the lead in the mining sector, just to add value to what we are producing. We don't believe in exporting what we have. We so much believe in adding value to what we are doing, and that's what you can see in here now. From the mines to jewelries. We can't even meet up with the market in demand in Nigeria, not to talk of exporting. And doing this alone has created more jobs for Nigerians.
Folashade Abdulsalami, MITV Plus News.
The federal government has officially flagged off the reconstruction of the 66-year-old Carter Bridge, describing the project as critical to improve transport infrastructure and easing traffic flow in Nigeria's commercial capital. The Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, who led government officials and stakeholders at the inauguration ceremony, explained that the project reforms part of the federal government's broader commitment to rehabilitating critical transport infrastructure across the country. Engineer Umahi described the reconstruction of the bridge as a major infrastructure intervention aimed at improving safety, traffic flow, and connectivity within Lagos. He stated that the government remains committed to delivering durable infrastructure capable of supporting economic growth and rising urban traffic demands.
Section of this Carter Bridge will be a cable bridge. You see the cable bridge we see overseas, very beautiful, and that is to enhance our navigational activities. And that's why we chose two spans, 105 meters, span by 2, and that will house the cable bridge. Very beautiful. Nigerians will love it so much, and that is a component of it. And of course, we have a lot of ramps that are ongoing. We have a total of 1.5 kilometers of ramps, by 9.3 meters width. And we have a total, the frame, the main body of the bridge, 2.1 kilometer by 2 carriageway, 10.3, and that is over 4.2 kilometer of the main bridge, that is going to be reconstructed. And this is going to take us 36 months.
On the Calabar ongoing Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway project, the minister maintained that the Lagos to Ondo State section of the highway would be completed by November. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, is he still playing that?
Before this time next year, you can drive all the way, down to Ondo, and they would have started the section of which is 100 kilometers. Time will fail me to say what this divine president is doing on our roads, but you can see that nobody is complaining, that much again about our roads and bridges. And not only that, there are no more complaints. There is assurance that whichever of the roads we build, that it will last between 50 and 100 years.
There's Nigerians who have not seen it, who still have doubt. This is more like a tourist site. We don't have such in Nigeria before. I encourage people to also, as citizens, sometimes to come across this place so that they can see what the government is doing. He hopes to give assurance to people that really, indeed, the president is doing well.
This project is a fantastic economic corridor for the Southwest region and also connects to other parts of the country. It connects us to the South region. So this is the renewed up project, legacy project, and it's going to be very, very beneficial to all Nigerians. We just want to call on all Nigerians to keep supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and also come 2027, your term for APC.
The Kano State, the governor of Katsina, State, Diko, has said there are moles within the government, security agencies and local communities who supply information to bandits, aiding them in carrying out their criminal activities in the state. Speaking in an exclusive interview with a sister station, Governor Rada explained that the fight against insecurity is being undermined by individuals who leak critical security information to bandits. He specifically mentioned a notorious bandit identified simply as Mohammed, narrating how informants within the government circles and communities allegedly provide him with intelligence that helps him evade arrest. Speaking on negotiations with bandits, despite opposition to the idea by some governors, Rada explained that although he personally does not support negotiating with bandits, some communities requested permissions to engage them in dialogue. Now, the Sokoto state government has confirmed the death of 33 children following a fresh outbreak of cerebrospinal meningitis in parts of the state, as health authorities battle a growing number of infections. Confirming the outbreak, the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Farouk Abubakar, disclosed this during an advocacy meeting with district heads on SAMAN and MNTE. The meeting was organized by the State Primary Health Care Development Agency in collaboration with the Sight Savers and the Chigari Foundation. According to the commissioner, no fewer than 256 suspected cases have been recorded across 8 local government areas since the outbreak resurfaced about a month ago. Now, as political activities ahead of the 2027 general elections begin to gather momentum, the New Obedient Movement Worldwide has announced a major restructuring aimed at repositioning the group for a greater participation in Nigeria's democratic process. The movement said the decision is part of efforts to strengthen its leadership and refocus on its core values of youth inclusion, good governance, and active civic engagement. Correspondent Mariam Nekemo completes the report.
The New Obedient Movement Worldwide has announced a major restructuring ahead of 2027 general elections. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja Thursday, Dr. Barry Johnson, the National Coordinator of Obedient Movement Worldwide, said the movement was founded in 2022 to promote youth inclusion, good governance, and democratic participation in Nigeria. Johnson said the movement, which supported Peter Obi during the 2023 presidential election, is now returning to its original vision and leadership structure. He announced that a new leadership team has been formed, with himself serving as the international coordinator. The group also called on the administration of Bola Tinubu to ensure a free and fair political environment ahead of the 2027 elections. The movement stated that it has not endorsed any presidential candidate for 2027 and promised to announce its position at the appropriate time.
In this regard, the movement formally withdraws recognition and membership status from the following individuals. Meaning that they are all expelled and remain expelled from the movement as leaders and members respectively. And number one on the list is the former Labour Party presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi, and Alhaji Yunusa Tanko, who is holding sway right now. And all other persons appointed under the unauthorized leadership structure that emerged after the 2023 elections. This decision is final and takes effect immediately. Let it be clearly stated that the Obedient Movement Worldwide is not a platform for personal political advancement, nor it is an instrument to be controlled by any individual or group for private gains. It is a people-driven democratic movement built on sacrifice of Nigerians, trust, and collective vision. We therefore call on all members, supporters, institutions, security agencies, most especially the police and the DSS, and the international community to take note.
The movement reaffirmed its commitment to promoting credible leadership and democratic participation, while urging the federal government to guarantee a level playing field for all political actors ahead of 2027 elections. It also maintained that no presidential candidate has been endorsed at this time, noting that its position on the 2027 race will be made known when appropriate. From Abuja, Marian Inakimion, MITV+.
Now, the Renewed Hope Network, TRN, has said that the current reforms introduced by the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu may be painful but are necessary to place Nigeria back on the path of economic recovery. Speaking at a news briefing in Lagos, the Director General of the group, Mohammed Oyinlomo Danmole, urged Nigerians to engage in prayers for the actualization of President Tinubu's second-term ambition to enable the administration consolidate the gains recorded during its first term. Danmole disclosed that the TRN would bring together Christians and Muslims for an interdenominational prayer session for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kadri Obafemi Hamzat in preparation for the preparation of the coming elections. He explained that the prayer session, which reforms part of the group's mobilization drive ahead of the 2027 general election, would be interdenominational, with representatives of various faith-based organizations expected to participate alongside over 65,000 congregants.
Our primary objective is to mobilize strong nationwide support for the election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. Beyond the election, the Renewed Hope Network seeks to promote civic participation, national unity, political inclusion, and good governance through structured grassroots engagement. Once again, through structured grassroots engagement. As part of our strategic programs, the Renewed Hope Network will hold a grand congregational prayer for Nigeria and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Sunday, the 10th of May, 2026, at the Tafawa Square in Lagos Island. This epoch-making event is expected to attract over 65,000 participants.
Ogun State Governor Prince Dakwa Abiodun on Tuesday formally submitted his nomination form at the national headquarters of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in Abuja as a consensus candidate for Ogun State East Senatorial District. Speaking during the brief ceremony, Governor Abiodun described the occasion as a more than a political exercise, noting that it represents his enduring commitment to the people of Ogun East, a district he said is renowned for its rich history, enterprise, culture, and immense potential. He expressed appreciation to party leaders, stakeholders, and residents across the Ijebu and Remo divisions for the the confidence and support they have continued to repose in him over the years, assuring them that he remains committed to delivering purposeful and impactful representation. Governor Abiodun reaffirmed his resolve to sustain the developmental strides already being witnessed across the district, with renewed focus on infrastructure, economic expansion, youth empowerment, and improved opportunities for the people. The submission of the nomination form marks a significant milestone ahead of the forthcoming elections as the governor positions himself to further consolidate on his record of service and leadership in Ogun State. Now on the foreign scene, Mozambique has dispatched a labor ministry delegation to South Africa to assess the safety and rights of Mozambican workers following a surge in xenophobic attacks and anti-migrant protests targeting Africans in several South African cities. The move comes amid growing concern in Maputo over the security of more than 300,000 Mozambicans living and working in South Africa. The National Director of Migrant Labour, Alice Brito, said the delegation would meet South African authorities to evaluate conditions on the ground and identity measures to protect Mozambican workers' labour and social rights. The deployment follows weeks of unrest in South Africa, where groups of residents have staged demonstrations demanding the removal of foreign nationals, particularly undocumented migrants. Another sick passenger from the hantavirus-hit cruise ship landed in Europe on Thursday as the vessel headed to a Spanish island, and health officials scrambled to map the outbreak of the potentially dead human-to-human strain. The fate of the MV Hondius has sparked international alarm after 3 people traveling on the ship died, though health officials have played down fears of a wider global outbreak from the virus, which is less contagious than COVID-19. People thought to have contracted the virus are being treated or isolated in Britain, Germany, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and South Africa. An air steward from the Dutch KLM carrier is being tested for the virus after possibly having come in contact with an infected person on a flight. The version of the virus detected aboard the stricken Honduras ship was a rare strain known as the Andes virus, which can be transmitted between humans. And now in sport, on a sad note, a motorbike rider has been killed during qualifying for the prestigious Northwest 200 NW200 Superbike annual race in Northern Ireland. A competitor has died following an incident at the victim's family requested that the rider is not named, but gave the approval for the event, in which he finishes on Saturday. To continue, the statement added the on-course incident is the 20th fatality associated with the event and the first since 2016, when Malachi Michelle Thomas died in a Super Twins race. The Northwest 200 is over 9 miles, 15 kilometers of closed public roads around Northern Ireland's north coast through the towns of Portswart, Coleraine, and Portrush. It has been running since 1929, attracting tens of thousands of fans to the British province. Now, athletes from Belarus should once again compete with their full national identity and not be vetted for neutral status, the International Olympic Committee said, though the advice to support governing bodies does not yet apply also to Russia. It seemed to point towards being closer to ending Russia's isolation in Olympic circles during its war on Ukraine. One barrier to Russia's return is an ongoing World Anti-Doping Agency investigation into recent reports implicating Russian anti-doping agency official Veronika Langinova. The IOC said its executive board noted with concern the recent information being looked at by WADA without naming Loginova. And that brings us to the end of our primetime news this morning. But remember to watch Okwe Anton on the stories that made round this morning. Thank you for watching. I am Kasmea Uzuribo.